Hey guys, welcome to my Kali Linux. In this video, you are going to learn about the tool called the Harvester. So you can just spell this as THE as the small lower cases, and the H you have to put as capital letter, right? Caps, and this is how you properly enter the Harvester, like THE as small, and H seems to be capital letter, and rest of the contents will be in the small letter. So this is something that you need to note. So when you enter the harvester, you'll be able to see some informations like this, as you can see. And when you try to view the manual, you probably don't. Let me show you that. So you probably don't have any manual available for this tool. So basically, I am going to tell you a lot of things about this tool from the GitHub repo. So we can just search for the harvester online, and it will pull you the GitHub page of this harvester tool. And as you can see, this seems to be the GitHub page of the harvester tool, and this contains the installation, how you can install, how you can do things like that will be here. But in Kali Linux, it's pre-installed, so you don't have to install it again. If you're using latest Kali Linux, then you don't have to install it again. And here, the most important part here, I just want to show you about the passive modules. There's a lot of passive modules available inside this tool. Like, passive module means that you can gather information about a target without directly interacting with that target. So it is using Baidu, Babygil, Brave, and a lot of things for gathering information about the passive information gathering process. And it also have active modules, which is used for directly interacting with the target to gather some informations. And if I don't have permission, so I am not going to do that. So here it will perform the DNS brute force and screenshots. I'm not going to take a look on active modules, but here we are going to take a look on the passive modules. And you do have the required API key. Here you can see 50 free queries per month and etc. about these particular tools, and the free queries that you can search a day will be listed there. So, and some of these contents will be there. So here in this harvester tool, you can just enter the harvester and minus help. It will pull up the help menu of the harvester tool, and you do get a lot of options that you can use inside the harvester tool. So, and you do get a single description of the tool called harvester. So you can see that it's basically used to gather OSINT, which seems to be open source intelligence on a company or a domain. So you can just target a company or a domain. Here we are going to target a domain. So we do have a lot of domains available online, right? So here we can just target the web, or web, which seems to be pretty good. So I'm just copying the web.com. So you can also enter the www.web.com. So anyways, we are going to target that as of now here. So -D for specifying the domain, company name or domain name to search. So we can just search for a company name or domain name by specifying the -D, and -L here using for the number of search results, and it's by default 500. So I'm not going to changing any above 500 or below 500 as of now. So, and -S for start with the results, and -P for proxies. Use proxies for request, and the proxies in proxies.yaml file to use the proxies. And you can also use shorten by specifying -S. It will if you specify the -S command, it will use shorten to query discovered host. So it will discover host, let me show you all of these things. And minus screenshot will take a screenshot of result domains, and it will you have to specify minus screenshot and the directory that you want to output the screenshot, and it will just output those contents. And you do have -V, -E, and plenty of other options. And -N for DNS lookup. Enable DNS server lookup. It's by default false. You can just enable it by specifying the -N command. And DNS brute force, we are not going to do any kind of active reconnaissance here. So you can also try to use this for performing active reconnaissance by yourself. And -F to save the results to an XML and a JSON file based on what you want. In some scenarios, you have to specify a word list for API endpoint scanning. So you can just use the -w for specifying the word list in the API endpoint scanning. And you do have -a for API scanning, scan for API endpoints, and -q for quiet mode, suppress missing API key warnings, and -b, this it seems to be an important thing. Like it seems to be the data source. You can specify minus source or -b. So it will give you, these are the data sources that is supported in this tool. You can use some of these to gather information. So let me use first, I'm just entering the harvester, which seems to be the name of the tool that we are going to use. And now I'm just entering the domain name here. We do have domain name, which seems to be www.walnweb.com. And at the end, I'm just specifying the data source. As I mentioned before, it's important. So you can just specify some data sources like Baidu, or you can just, I'm just copying the first first some of them in the first lane. And you can also specify like this. I think you just don't need there's extra space here, so I'm just filling the spaces here. You can just specify the data sources by putting a comma only, and no need to include the space. I think if you include the space, then you may encounter errors, so I'm not gonna do that as of now. So I'm just putting everything correct. -b for specifying the data sources. I selected some of the data sources available here, and I'm pressing enter button, and now it started. And as you can see, missing API key for Bevigle. So as you can see in the quiet mode, suppress missing API key warnings. So when I use -q, it will not show me the missing API key warnings. Okay, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. So this scan was running. So in the meantime, let's run the same scan on the next tab in this terminal. Okay, so here I'm just entering by specifying the command like here quiet mode -q to see if it is displaying or not. As you can see, we can see it's displaying the missing API key for Bevigle, missing API key for buffer overrun. So what's the purpose of using -q? It's what what I also thinking about, like suppress missing key, and this is what it is showing, but I don't know why it is still showing the missing API key for buffer overrun. So suppress missing API key warning. So I don't know. So let's let it run. And as you can see, it's saying that an exception has occurred. So when you include a lot of data sources, then it will probably take a lot of time to give you some informations. It is searching in the build with, and this is now searching in the Brave. So in my first search, it is searching in the Baidu. So we can just see where we put the Baidu in. Like it's in my first one, which seems to be the Baidu. So I think it's better to minimize the data sources for getting the results faster. Like I'm just eliminating Sensis, build with, or Bray, something like this, and I'm just eliminating all of these and including only Baidu, Yahoo, Bing. So 3 of them, and using the quiet mode -q. So it's saying that read API keys .yaml from this etc harvester API keys, and as you can see, I don't find any kind of warnings here. I don't know. Yeah, it is searching in Bing, and I think it doesn't get any information from the Bing, so it is now searching in the Yahoo. So let it run. So as you can see, this scan results was ended by specifying the -q, which seems to be in quiet mode, which makes me to get results faster than before. So that's something that I note. Like the previous scan took a lot of time, but still not completed. But this one seems to be completed so faster than before by specifying the -q quiet mode, which seems to be pretty useful, right? So yeah, and it's basically searched for IP, email, people, host from the domain that you specified. So this is what this harvester tool searches for: IP, email, people's, host means domain name. So here I think I just put something wrong, like IP, it doesn't find any IP, doesn't find any email, people, or host. So I think I don't want to specify www in front of the walnweb.com. So let me eliminate the www and searches for that. So it's running, and as you can see, it seems to be searching in Bing, and it doesn't find anything, and it seems to be now searching in Yahoo. And let's see what happened before. Like it searches in Yahoo, and a lot of exceptions has occurred before. So, and it searches in Baidu also. So let's see which are the other data sources that we have available for searching. So we do have Baidu, Bing, Brave, and a lot of other data sources. So we can just use Yahoo. So let's fight. Let's let it run to see if we find anything. Like it is searching and it is searching for zero results. So let it run. In the meantime, let's have a look on to the help menu of the harvester tool, so that you'll be able to understand a lot of comments. And we do have -s for shorten search. It will use shorten to query discovered host. So I think yeah, we were able to find the level host. As you can see, these are the level hosts that we were able to find. So the mistake that we put is putting www in front of vulnerable.com. So that's the mistake that we put into there. So that's why we were not able to find any information. So you have to very careful about giving the domain names, which seems to be the name of the website .com or .in or something like that, that you are targeting the domain. So here this is the information that we were able to find. Like we were able to find level host, and you do have some of the options that you can use by running the harvester command, like DNS brute force or minus word list, and you can just specify the -f, and it will save results into a file. So you can I'm just going to specify the -f command and saving this as file, like is saving, like this is the name of the file that I'm specifying is saving. So saving is the file name that I would like to save the results to. So let us see what happens if we save the results. So yeah, let it run. So I think it basically saves the results to this saving file. I don't know it is an XML or any other extensions. Like we do have informations from here. You can see it will save the results to an XML and a JSON file. So I don't specify the .xml or .json. So I just want to see what happens if we don't specify any kind of extensions like .xml or .json, and let it run to see what happens. So yeah, let it run. So in the meantime, let's have a look on to the some of the options that we can use inside the harvester tool. And you do have API scan for API endpoints, and you can also use -s for shorten. Use shorten to query discovered host and a lot of other options. So let's try to use the minus API scan, or you can also specify -a, which seems to be the same of minus API scan. So yeah, let's use one of them. And as you can see, it basically this one was completed, and it basically report started, and it's a saved XML file saved, a JSON file saved. Let me and the ls, and as you can see, I specified a name of the file, and it will save the file in JSON format and XML format, both of these format. I just don't need to specify .xml or .json. I just need to specify a name of the file that I want to create, and it will automatically create XML and JSON. So yeah, first let's try to view the JSON. So this is how it looks like in JSON format. So now let's try to view the XML format. So this is how it looks like in XML format. You can also use the open command, so it will display in the mouse pad, and this is how it looks like. As you can see, this is how the results is saving, like -d, and this seems to be domain, and -b for the data sources, and -q, -f, all of your commands. Host, this is the host discovered, and it is not searching for in shorten, right? So, and you can also view the view the XML format here, like XML, and here it is. So this is how it will when you just open the XML file, it will basically open in a Firefox browser or the browser in your computer. So this is how it will save in XML format, like the command that you used and the host it will find. So yeah, anyways, let's try to use the -s, like -s for shorten search, and let us also save this as save to, and let's use -s. It will basically execute the same with a shorten search also. Let's try to view that. So let it run. As I mentioned before, it will take some time, so it is recommended to use one more tab, so that my task will makes faster and you don't find this video as boring. So yeah, let's try to use the API key option. So here we can just eliminate some of these, and I'm just using only Baidu and Yahoo here, and I'm just using minus minus API scan. So I just want to know what happens when you use minus minus API scan. It's from the description. So let's open a new tab so that you'll be able to understand the concepts. I don't want to scroll again and again. So here I'm just entering the help menu. Like you can also specify minus h only to get the help menu. So here it is. So you do have minus minus API key, API scan. So it scans for API endpoints. So the scan was started, and let's see what it scans for and what it will give to us. So as you can see, yeah, let's see the previous scan. Yeah, the previous scan was saved to this, and it doesn't find any kind of searching in short, and I don't find anything. So yeah, let's enter ls, and this is the saves to JSON. So let's open the save to.json, and here it is. So it still doesn't get anything from the short end. As you can see, it doesn't get anything from the short end. So yeah, in the XML you can also open the XML. So here let me open the XML, and this is how what you were able to find in the XML. So yeah, anyways, we could not able to get some information from the shorten. So here we doesn't able to find the host, people, email, nothing. So we just specify the API scan, and it doesn't work. So you have to specify some of the other things to get it worked, I think. So yeah, let's have a look on to the other options like quiet mode, source. So it's important to you use the source one and the domain one. So that's something important in this. So let's try to use some other domain name. So here let's try to use, instead of specifying the vulnerweb.com, and just specifying here as microsoft.com. So let it run. It's still saving in a save to.json and save to.xml. What happens when you save another results to the same file? So this is what I would like to know. So let it run to see. So basically we just need to know everything what happens. We as an ethical hacker, you just need to use tools like these and use different methods and avoid such confusions. Like when you save the contents to the same file, what happens? You just need to think about it, you just need to practice about this. Like I'm just saving the contents of a different domain to this particular file that I previously saved some of the XML and the JSON results. So what happens when I use the same file name to save the XML and JSON? Will it append the new results, or will it remove the previous results and append the newer one? I just want to know that. So let it run. So yeah, we were able to complete it, and here we were able to find 46 hosts, and we were also able to find an email which seems to be abc@microsoft.com. So we also not able to find any people or IP or something, another things. Like yeah, anyways, we were able to find 46 hosts. So and let me try to enter ls, and here we also have the saving to.json. So let's try to view the save to.json, and as you can see here, so it basically, I think it's basically removed the previous contents and added the newer one, and this is how it looks like. So we can also try to open the save to.xml. So it basically removed the previous content and added the new content. So that's what happens. Okay, so we were able to find an email and some of the host, and this is the command that we use. This is how it saved. Okay, so like that you can just specify some we specified here in the command, we specified Baidu, Yahoo, Bing as the data sources. When you change the data sources, you probably get some more information. So let's have a look on the data sources. Which are the data sources available for us? You can also use the shorten data source to get information on shorten. Like we use here, we doesn't used here the shorten. Let's try to use the shorten. Like here I'm just specifying shorten, and here I'm just using the minus s command to see what happens. So it will say I'm just using only Yahoo search and shorten. So let it run. So basically we just don't need to use the www. So that's something that I need to remove. So this scan was started and it's searching for the domain wallenweb.com, and it's using two data sources here, Yahoo and Shodan. And here it is. It still doesn't give me some results from Shodan. So this is how it will ends up. So anyways, we are moving to the data sources available here. We do have DNS dumpster, DuckDuckGo, and the GitHub code, and a lot of other things. So we can try to use some of these to get some informations on it. Like we can just try to use, I think there's a have I been pwned available. So let's try to use this also in the Microsoft here in this Microsoft, like yeah, microsoft.com. So it is searching for Baidu and have I be bond, and I'm not going to save this. I just want the results only. So I'm just using the quiet mode. So and also I just want to use some other data sources from here. I'm just using, so DNS dumpster is here. So let me try to use DNS dumpster also. So yeah, let's try to execute this. So we are targeting the Microsoft.com b minus b for specifying the data source. Here we specify the Baidu data source, have I been pwned data source, and the DNS dumpster. So basically, you can just search for have I been pwned or Baidu or DNS dumpster, and you'll be able to get a website. And what are the informations that you will get from here is like it will see it will if a email is found, it will search for the email for any data breaches. So like that, DNS dumpster will give you some other informations from the host that you found. So here this is the website of DNS dumpster. What it will give to you is like when you enter the domain name, it will test for that. Like we can just enter Microsoft.com and pressing enter start test, it will test for the domain, and it will give you a lot of informations like the error codes, like host, IP, ASN name, and a lot of things. So you'll be able to get IP and related information by specifying the DNS dumpster option. So it is now searching in the have I been pwned, and I think it will take some time because in the DNS dumpster there's a lot of informations available. So if it gets some information, as you can see, it's not as expected. I am getting plenty of errors, like it is searching in have I been pwned and then a lot of exceptions in the code, and it is searching in Baidu and nothing found, but it doesn't search it in the DNS dumpster. I don't know why. So let's try to use the DNS dumpster only. So yeah, let's try to use DNS dumpster only to see what happens. So still we were not able to get any kind of informations from there. So it's not what we expected for. So you can just use DuckDuckGo, some of these by yourself, and try to understand the concepts. So this is how you basically use a tool like this. And we can just use some data sources. Basically in this search we probably use Yahoo data sources, and we also uses Baidu, Bing, Yahoo, Brave, and these are the data sources that we probably use for these kinds of things. Okay, so yeah, that's all about this, guys. So you can also try to use and understand the concepts. You can also use Aristotle. So you can just search for these kinds of data sources online, and you'll be able to get a website, and you can just perform a manual enumeration on that also. Like here I just get the Aristotle, right? So you can also search for directly into the browser for Aristotle to see what it is. If you don't know all of, I think you don't know all of these available sources, so you can just search for one by one. You can just search online to see what it is. So that's something that you will gain some additional knowledge. Okay, so still we were able to find the 35 host and email by entering this command like Yahoo. It will search in Yahoo and Aristotle. So in the previous results we also searched in, we doesn't search it in Yahoo. So let's try to use have I been pwned, or let's try to use here as DNS dumpster, and let's try to execute this. And it's now using the harvest tool on this domain, and the data sources that we are using is Yahoo and DNS dumpster, and we were able to find 36 of them, and the result seems to be this and one additional thing that we were able to find. So like that, basically you can just use multiple data sources from here, and you can just try to practice it by yourself. And this is how you use the harvester tool basically. And you can also use some of these options to see if it is working or not, and you can just research online to find how you can just pretty much use those tools. Okay, so that's all about this video, guys. I hope you learned a little on this video, and thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.